Okay, so let's start. What is search and assign? The purpose of search and assign is to be able in My DSO Manager to automatize some setup at customer level. So all the setup you may know already, assigning a collection scenario, collectors, a group to a customer, activate late payment penalties, enable or not interactive emails. So it's very an advanced functionality in order to make dynamic settings. But what is important is that you will see that with this, of course, you avoid some manual tasks maybe you had to do before. Because it is automated, it is dynamic, it's in real time, and this setup, automatic setup, is done every time after an upload of data. Every time the interface between your ERP and My DSO runs, in fact, all these assignments are completed by My DSO Manager dynamically. So that means that search and assign helps to avoid manual tasks, but not only. In fact, thanks to that, it's possible to do much more than before, and this is very interesting. And I encourage you to open your mind because with search and assign, you can use all the criteria, all the information that you have on your My DSO Manager platform to make this setup, and that means that it's possible to do a lot of things. The range of possibilities is huge, and the limits are more our mindset rather than the tool, in fact. So it's very interesting to take time to open your mind and to think about what you could do with this functionality. In most of cases, there are some very basic setup that will be very useful, but according to your needs, according to your business, to your way of managing account receivable and credit risk management, you may do some very accurate settings in order to be more efficient. Another example, with search and assign, it's possible to dynamically set up some rules to, for example, assign some collection scenarios according to customer type, according to their situation, the overdue, and the risk that customers, and to switch the collection scenario when there is an event. So all this may have also an impact on your way of working, maybe also on the organization of your team, because we could imagine, for example, that a dedicated collector will be automatically assigned to customers who are late with a very bad score, and so to the risky customers, and on the contrary, for the good one, the VIP ones may have some another organization. So search and assign enables that kind of rules and that kind of organization. So just who we are. So I'm here with Youssef, who you may know Youssef. So he's our customer success and onboarding manager. And he's daily in contact with you, Youssef and his team. And I'm Bertrand, co-founder of My DSO Manager. So very happy to be here with you today. So there is a chat. Don't hesitate to put your question there. Questions, comment, positive or negative, all are welcome, and we will try to answer to them during the webinar. And if we don't have time, we will answer later after the webinar. There will be a replay, of course, of this session. So just one slide, and then we will go to My DSO Manager to do it. We could say that there are 3 levels of assignment in My DSO Manager, thanks to Search and Assign. The first level is simple assignment. So that means taking into account one information and then assign a collector. It's quite basic, but it's automated, it's dynamic, and it's done at least one time per day or several times per day according to the frequency of your interface between your ERP and My DSO Manager. So it's very useful. It could be, for example, assigning a collector for all customers that belongs to a commercial agency or any other criteria. It could be assigning a collection scenario to all customers where there is at least one contact by email. So a collection scenario with emails, and for the others, more with phone calls. There are a lot of possibilities. So today, the objective is not to see all the possibilities. In fact, it's impossible, but it's just to show you some examples of the 3 levels that we could do with a Search and Assign. Second level of assignment, what we could call evolving assignment, it's based on multiple criteria and on data that may change. For example, the payment profile, the credit score of the customer, and to combine these criteria to make the assignment. The assignments, there are 7 types of assignment. Today, there will be more very soon to manage better the credit insurance and the discretionary credit limit. But we will come back, we will have another communication about that. But nowadays, it's about customer groups, managing customer groups, allocating collection scenarios, allocating collectors to customers, allocating other users like salespeople, so manage portfolios of salespeople in My DSO Manager, enabling or not interactive emails, late payment penalties, and the flat rate of overdue that is more European regulation. So, and here, for example, for the second level of assignment, we could imagine that for customer with a bad credit score, with a bad payment profile, and with an overdue above 5,000 euros, for example, there is an auto assignment of a new collection scenario, but maybe also in the same time with an activation of late payment penalties and an assignment of another collector dedicated to risky customers. This is this kind of rules that can be done. Another rule that we will show you is to create some scoring thanks to using groups. You may create some groups according to your scoring and use Search and Assign to elaborate your own scoring rules that are dynamic and that can take in account all the information in My DSO. That means informations that come from the financial information providers, from the credit insurers, but also in the same time from My DSO and your data. That means the payment profile, your level of exposure, of AR, of overdue, etc. So it's a kind of super scoring based on external data and internal data. And the last, the advanced level of assignment is to do in My DSO, in fact, some rules like the one about the scoring I just talked about, and then to create this scoring thanks to Search and Assign, and then to set some rules to assign collection scenario based on this information as well. So you see, it's not only one step, but it's several steps of assignments that can be done in a sequence according to the setup that you would have done. I hope I'm clear enough, but we will go now straight to My DSO and to show you how it works. So, connecting to a My DSO Manager platform on My Company UK, so it's a demo platform. And so the point is that search and assign works in 2 steps. The first step is to make some search to create your criteria here. And it's possible for a few months now to save your search and to build your own report. The point here is, for example, let's say I will start with a very basic setup, so a simple assignment. For My Company UK, they have some custom field that is the customer type. So they have 4 customer types. And let's say I want to assign automatically a collection scenario to all customers that have a customer type distributor. So just need to make my search. I do it.
Already
oh,
saved.
okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. I wanted to cancel that, but okay. So I'm back.
Like this, you will start from 0.
Yes, I start from 0. I create my search. I save it, and I will name it customers distributors. Okay, this is the first step. You may know that you can find all the searches saved here. Here you can search for clients. This is what we are interested in for search and assign. And you may do some advanced search where you can find all the criteria, all the information available in My DSO Manager. So, but let's start simply. I have done my search with customer distributor. This is the first step. Second step, I go to settings, manage search and assign. And here I can find all the automatic assignment that I can do. There are already some, but these are very basic. For at least there are these ones for new customers, but here I would add some new rule. So I will click to collection scenario and I will add a rule. I will select the search that I have done and the assignment. So that means the collection scenario I prepared for that kind of customer. So I have created a collection scenario for a distributor. I can set that it is automatic or not, but I will say it is automatic. And there is an option to restrict this assignment to new customers only. That may be interesting also, but here I don't want to restrict it. So I saved. So that means that now I have this rule enabled. Every time the interface runs, all customers that fall into this search will have this collection scenario. I will do 2 more. Coming back here, I will take a customer type VIP this time. Very basic. I save VIP customers. And it's the same. You see, it's very straight, huh? And everything is in real time in My DSO. So every time you do something, the result is immediate. And then I can create my rule, select VIP customers, and I have another collection scenario for VIP customer. That's perfect. I save. I will do a third one because there is something to explain to you behind with that. I will make another search based on the, I will take several criteria this time. My company UK use a credit score, A, B, C, D, E. A is very good, C, D, E is the worst, but I will select the credit score that are not so good here, associated with bad payment profiles. I can, if I, for example, I have a credit safe here, I could use the note of credit safe, etc. I can do what I want, but let's keep it simple. And to this search that is dynamic, I will name it risky customers. Okay, I save. And then here, at the same time, I will assign to these customers risky customers collection scenario, and saying it's automatic. Okay, so what is important, you can see here that I have 3 rules, and the last one is concern all customers that will not fall in this criteria. However, we may have some distributors that are risky customers as well. So that means a single customer could be in 2 categories here. So what is important here, it's the sequence and this number, the priority, because a customer can have only 1 update. So that means there is a priority to set, and this is very important in the setup. Here I would set as a priority risky customers, because in fact, if a distributor is risky, I prefer that he has the collection scenario dedicated to risky customers as the one of distributor. To do that, I just need to click here, I drag and drop, and that's it. So now I have, first of all, this rule that is applied. All customers that belong to these rules will have this collection scenario. Then for the others, if the others that are distributor, they will have this one, and the other who are VIP customer will have this one. Okay, so there are a lot of possibilities, but it is very important to understand this the order here and the priority, and to set it correctly. As it is automatic, but if I want, I can click it and run it manually. I can do that. That's it. I have 800 customers updated. Fine. And as it is automatic, with each interface, it will be updated accordingly, because of course, these criteria regarding risky customers are very dynamic. The payment profile may change, the credit score may change. If I added some amount overdue in this criteria, it's changing every day. So it may change. But here, of course, the type of customer is a much more stable information. So another point that is important regarding collection scenario is to take some criteria that are quite stable, or if you take some criteria that change always, is to combine them. Because if you take, for example, if I make a search here, I want to assign a dedicated collection scenario to all customers that are overdue. It's very, very simple to do, but a customer will be overdue and not overdue and overdue. So the collection scenario may change always, and that's not suitable, because of course the collection scenario may have a duration of several weeks, and it's quite good to not have a change every day. However, it is possible to create some strategies evolutive strategies. For example, assigning a standard collection scenario to customers, and then to, as far the customers are overdue above 30 days or above 60 days, assign a new collection scenario that include only pre-litigation actions, not collection number one. This collection scenario will start at quite late, in fact, maybe just before the final notice sent. And it's possible to set some very dynamic strategies, and collection scenario will be changed at customer level according to his type, but according to the situation, risk situation and overdue situation. Okay. Any question, Youssef, on the chat?
Not for the moment. So
okay.
don't hesitate to share with your comment, with us your comment and your question as well.
Yeah. Another type of very basic assignment is to, for example, if I want to assign collectors, let's say by agency, my company UK has 5 agencies in the UK, and we have a dedicated collector for customer in London. Okay, we do a search, save, London agency customers. I save, and coming back here for collectors, it's the same principle. I would add a rule. I will select the search that I want here, and I will assign, for example, Eddie. Automatically, Eddie will be the collector for that customers. So it's as for the collection scenario, it can be based on very static criteria or dynamic criteria. I think that here it was not my objective, but I included the overdue. Then coming back here, so we have seen some simple assignment and starting to see some more evolutive assignment. But also, one thing that is interesting about the search that I have done here about risky customer, maybe I would like, I can edit it, of course, I can change it, and I would like to add another criteria because, okay, these customers have a bad credit score, and we have a bad payment experience with them. Okay, but also I would like to add, okay, are they overdue? Do I have overdue plus 30 days? Okay, so I will add this criteria search. So here I have risky customers and overdue above 30 days. So that's not so good. And that means for that type of customers, maybe in search and assign here, of course, I keep the assignment of a risky customer yes, I need to save it as priority 1. But in the same time, I may activate for these customers, I may activate the late payment penalties automatically. That makes sense. Need to auto-run. And in the same time, for that difficult customer, if I have in my collection team a collector that is dedicated to difficult customer, to risky customer, I can make a rule to assign automatically these customers to, for example, to Eva, who is dedicated to risky customers. So that means with a single search, you may do several types of actions. Okay, so it's it could be interesting for risky customer overdue above 30 days to assign a dedicated collection scenario with templates that include late payment penalties. And then as soon as they switch to this collection scenario, to activate automatically late payment penalties. That's interesting. Of course, it's possible also by the same way to manage the portfolios of sales manager, for example. If this information does not come from your ERP, My DSO, because the information is not available in your ERP, it's possible to manage here these portfolios in order that you can have everywhere in My DSO Manager the portfolio of sales manager, and that's quite powerful because after that you will have all the report, of course, that can be filtered by a sales manager, and so it's quite interesting. Still no question, Youssef?
Still no question for the moment.
Okay, very good. So I
Can
continue. We continue. One other type of possibilities with search and assign is to create your own credit score. For example, you may get in My DSO some scores, credit scores from financial information providers, from credit insurers. That's fine, but it's external scoring. This scoring does not take into account your relation with your customer. It does not take into account your experience with your customers and your situation, the situation of their account. So with search and assign, it's possible to dynamically calculate some super score, I will say, because we will take into account all the information coming from external provider and make a mix-up with your information in My DSO Manager, such as the payment behavior, your own scoring, the amount overdue, the type of customer, any customer segmentation. So, and to do that, the idea is to use this functionality to assign groups. For example, to show you an example, here in settings, manage customer groups, I have created three groups without customer. Credit score 1, so it's internal credit score 1, credit score 2, credit score 3. And so, of course, there could be more than that. It's up to you. But then, let's say 1 is good, 2 is medium, and 3 is bad. I will select search, make a search, taking into account all the criteria that I want to set up, to design, in fact, all the customers that should belong to each of this group. If I can start, I will do an advanced search because it is there that I have all the criteria available. I could take into account the credit score that is coming from outside, let's say, and I will select, this time I will take good customers. Customer A and customer B, so quite a good scoring. My objective here is to make a search in order to assign customers to the score 1, so the good one. So next, I will take customers who are not overdue. No, a good customer cannot be overdue. Then I would take also other criteria like the payment profile. You know, the payment profile in My DSO, which is calculated dynamically based on 6 months history. So it's a weighted calculation, so it's quite relevant. So it's really your payment experience with that customer. And here, of course, I will take into account very good payers, okay, maybe good payers as well. I can mix that with other information. I could take some information here from CreditSafe, for example, the credit score, the DBT score. But we don't have data of credit score on that platform, so I won't take that. And the guarantee as well. Do I have a guarantee? A good customer, if I have a credit insurance, that may not be your case, but if I have a credit insurance, a good customer must have at least a guarantee. Is it so? You see here, you can find all the information in My DSO. Can take some other information, all the custom fields, some customer segmentation, customer group. Everything that is relevant. The objective is not to make something complicated, but to make some rules that are very relevant. So I will keep it simple. So that's it. So I don't have custom. Yes, because maybe I don't have credit insurance here. Okay. Let's take these 3 criteria: I save and credit score 1. So this is a dynamic search. So that means that it will be calculated every day, maybe several times per day if you have several interfaces with your ERP every day. And then in search and assign, I will automatically assign these customers to the group credit score 1. It is automatic. I save, and I will run it. I won't do here. It's just an example. I won't do the 2 other criteria, but so I will do it, and that's quite interesting, in fact, because it's you can build a very elaborative scoring based on that, and taking into account your own criteria. And after that, of course, all the reports now can be filtered by this group of customers. I can immediately see my aging balance with that good customers. Everything, in fact, I can filter my collection agenda with that customers, to focus only on the action I have on that customers. I have only a reminder before due date. Of course, they are not overdue according to the rule that I have set. That's interesting. The same for the credit risk. Of course, for the credit risk, maybe I will focus more on customer level 2 and 3 here, because I have to focus more on risky customers for the credit risk management. So that it's the same everywhere. So that means that dynamically, in real time, you can create some quite advanced rules in order to do some basic setup. We think that some coming back to the here to the several types of assignment. A big part of the value remains in simple things, in simple association. But it's possible, according to your needs, to do some very advanced things. And what is very powerful is that it's done immediately, it's in real time, and it is evolutive. So you can very easily change this setup, adapt the setup. It's not a gas factory, so that means it's it also depends, of course, on your business, on your number of customers, on the volumetry. If your company has thousands and thousands of customers, so a very big volume, let's say 50,000 customers with 100 of new customers every day. In fact, this kind of automatic assignment, it's not a need, it's a must, because it's very complicated to do that manually. And if you have to do that manually, in fact, you will make only basic assignment, but you won't do very elaborated assignment. But it really depends on your activity, your country, the culture of your company, your way of credit management. It's very, very different according to the company everywhere in the world. So that's why I just shown some examples, but try to open minds and see what could be interesting for you. One few things to keep in mind. The order, okay, for the association, for the assignment, this in the sequence here, the order, it's very important. It's the priority. Keep in mind here that on that example, the customer falls into that searches into that category. But if one is taken here at risky customers, they cannot belong to the following. So it's very important to set the order correctly. Then, yes, one point that is important is that every change that is done by search and assign, you will see on customer account this icon, this small robot, and you will see the last modification. So, of course, it is useless to change manually the collection scenario if it is updated according to search and assign, because even if you change it here manually, it will be changed again with the next interface. There are, so maybe just before going back, by default, this functionality is not activated on your platform. To activate it, it's very simple. Just send us a mail on support@mydsomanager.com, or when you are on your platform, can go to help here and click on this button, and you send the message and you ask us to activate this functionality for you. We wanted at least that you see this very short training, because, of course, be careful. It's possible to make some mistake with this kind of dynamic setup. If, for example, all your collection scenario include automatic action without confirmation, and that you make some wrong assignment of collection scenario to customers, then you may have some emails that are sent to customers, but bad emails, I don't know. So just it's important to at least have followed this session. So there is no cost, it's included in your subscription. We are here also to help, to explain, to support you. We can propose you some training, half-a-day training, to build together your setup according to your strategy. So the same, just ask. But to activate this functionality, in order that you can start to play with it, just send us an email, tell us on which, if you have several entities, on which entities you want to activate that, and we will do it. It's very straightforward. Coming back here, there are some material about search and assign in My DSO Manager. There is a news that explains how it works, a tutorial in the online help, some tips, and there will be more content that will come soon. And as I said, it's possible to do some dedicated training. One last point, coming back here. No, sorry, here in search and assign, there will be soon a new possibility regarding, this is about credit insurance. It will be possible to enter an amount of DCL, discretionary credit limit. Let's say, I don't know, 50,000 euros. And then it will be possible using search and assign to activate or not by customer this DCL. So according to your criteria, the criteria of your credit insurance, you may enter them in the search and activate or not, enable or not the DCL for that customer and for that customer. But there will be over communication about that, maybe another webinar to explain that functionality. Still no question, Youssef?
Yes, I have a question of Algorzata regarding the search and assign, and if assign some customer to this dynamic filter, make them disappear from other collection scenario. Here it will depend what you have said before. If you're on the search assign feature, you have set a rule to change the scenario. This will affect the scenario of the customer if the client responds to the criteria that you have applied, and a new one will apply instead the previous one. But it will only work if we have set something on collection scenario. As you have asked, shared before, Margozota, but our self-search are only regrouping customer and don't change the scenario. In this case, if you don't apply any rules on scenario at scenario level, the scenario will not be affected by the search and assign. If you have, if you put a rule for the group, this will add a new group to the client, but will not change the scenario as well.
Yeah, it's important to understand that it's not search and assign is not 0 or 1. It's not for all customer or no customer. So search and assign can be activated, can be used only for some customers, and for some other customers, you keep as before all the manual follow-up of the setup. So you see, it makes sense. In fact, if you have a lot of medium and small customers, a big volume of small customers, maybe it really makes sense here to automatize the setup. However, with your key customers, maybe you don't need that. So that's why you may have a part of your customer portfolio where the setup is managed by search and assign, and another part that is not managed by search and assign, and just because they don't fall into the criteria of your searches in My DSO. It's here I have run some rules on this platform. We have done it together, but for example, that customer for the collector, it's still a manual follow-up. For only the collection scenario has been assigned through a search and assign, but all other criteria that can be updated here, I still can update them, the late payment penalties, the interactive email, manually at customer account or in bulk with still a customer search, but with a manual search. You know that, for example, if I'm looking for customers with overdue above 1,000, I can here make a search, select them all, and go down and add this customer manually to a group, to a collection scenario, etc., as you did before, in fact. But this is manual. This is a one-time task. It is not dynamic. But the key point about search and assign functionality is was for us to keep the same level of flexibility in My DSO. So you decide to automatize what you want, what you need to automatize, but you keep the flexibility to work more manually, to manage the setup more manually as before. So it's really your choice. This flexibility is absolutely key in a credit management software and in My DSO Manager, because in credit management, we absolutely need to be agile. We need to be able to automatize, but we need also to adapt according to the situation, according to the customers. And this is really what we try to do with My DSO, to have this good balance between automation and customization. Any other question before we stop?
One last question from Sasha. If a new collection scenario is assigned based on the rule we put in place, yes, will the new collection scenario start from the initial collection step, or the newly assigned scenario continue in the new scenario based on the age of the overdue?
No. So for that, when you change the collection scenario manually or by search and assign, the scenario start at the beginning of the collection scenario. So that's why we should not have a change of the collection scenario every 3 days because it does not make sense. However, with search and assign, you may have a standard collection scenario, and here you may have maybe another collection scenario, but with a scenario that start only, I don't have an example here. Oh yes, I have it.
Yeah,
for example, a pre-litigation scenario. Then when you switch the scenario, it will be the first action of a collection scenario, of a new collection scenario that will be triggered. But you can create a collection scenario that starts with a formal notice. It's possible. I mean, so in order to, of course, if the customer becomes overdue, you want to change the scenario to a new one, but you don't want to start with a very friendly action. Just need to create a collection scenario dedicated to that for that type of customers and that type of situation, and start with a formal notice, with late payment penalties, with what you want. And so you see that search and assign allows to change the way of working and the way to manage collection scenarios.
Thank you, Bertrand, for your response. There is any new question regarding the search and assign feature? I think we are okay.
Okay, so thank you very much to have attended.
Thank you all.
Webinar. So of course, we are at your disposal for any question. All the My DSO Manager team, the project managers, the support team is there to answer to your question and to accompany you for the best use of My DSO. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend, and see you soon. And don't forget, of course, if you want to activate My search and assign, just send us an email and we will do it.
Perfect. Thank you all. Nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.